Joining us now is Mariam Wahba, a Middle East analyst at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, but more importantly, you knew Yaron. Mariam, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Good to be with you today, Chris, although I wish I was under different circumstances.
Understood. I know you were close to Yaron. He's described as a rising star, both he and Sarah. What made him such a special friend?
Look, Yaron, anybody who knew him would tell you he was sharp as anything. He was smart on the issues he worked on, and he cared deeply more than anything else. But outside of that, he was a kind, soft-spoken person who really cared about the people he worked with, his friends, and the issues that he worked on.
What did he share with you about Sarah, who, according to his father, he was preparing to propose to Sarah in the coming days?
Yes, so I actually didn't get the opportunity to ever know Sarah. I had just moved out of DC when they began dating, but here's what I do know about the things that he cared about. He spent some time in Israel as a teenager, and then he moved to the States when he became a diplomat. And ever since he was a young boy, he knew he wanted to be a diplomat. He knew he wanted to be a peacemaker, to use his word. And that is really all you need to know about Yaron's character.
It says everything about his character. What do you see as the root cause of this disturbing rise in anti-Semitism, both globally and right here in the United States?
Look, anybody who's been watching this for the last 600 days, but really for the last 10 years, can tell you this tragedy was unfortunately inevitable. We've seen the encampments on college campuses for the last year and a half. We've seen the hateful and vitriol rhetoric that's been spewed. Free Palestine, return the Intifada, kill all Zionists, kill all Jews. You know, the perpetrator, he's been fed all of these hateful content for the last 600 days, and it really makes it clear that this tragedy was inevitable, and really something needs to be done about it.
Are you scared because of your beliefs?
Look, we do this work because we care about it, and we do this work because we care about the Middle East. Myself, I am from the region. I have family in the region. All of my friends and my colleagues work on this stuff, not because it's easy, but because it matters, and because we care about the American social fabric. And I'll say one more thing about this. When we look at our adversaries and the disinformation and misinformation campaigns that foreign adversaries like Russia, Iran, China perpetrate and plan and execute all across our country, they rejoice, they revel in incidents and tragedies like these, because it really takes a hit at the fabric of American society. And one of my favorite things about being an American is that we can disagree on things, yet still sit down at the same dinner table, break bread, and come to a solution, even if the solution is we still disagree. Right. We don't shoot each other, we don't kill each other, and that is what our adversaries revel in.
Have you experienced any backlash because of your beliefs? Have you been targeted?
Look, doing pro-America work, doing pro-Israel work, pro-freedom work is not an easy or a fun task, but somebody has to roll up their sleeves and do it. And we do it because we care about these values. We know that if we let up for just one moment, we might not feel the effects of it, but our children or grandchildren will. We care about this way of life. We believe in it, and that's why we do this work.
Let's wrap with talking about your friend, Yaron. What will you remember most about your friend?
Yaron was the kindest person you would ever meet. I had the pleasure of writing a tribute to him in the Free Press earlier today, and I shared the story about, we were at a policy roundtable, and like school children, we were passing around notes as speakers were talking and critiquing some people, talking about how their stats were off. And Yaron looked at the last note I passed him when I said, "That was so stupid." And he scribbled it out immediately after smiling amusingly, as if he wanted to protect the speaker from this judgment, which he'd never hear. And that story really tells you all that you need to know about Yaron, that he was kind-hearted and a diplomat par excellence, and he truly cared about everything and everybody around him.
Mariam, well said. And I'm so sorry for your loss, but thank you for telling us about your friend Yaron.
Thank you for having me.
You bet.